Hello and welcome back to Be a Quirky Writer. Now today in creation and animation, since it is February after all, I decided that we will be discussing short and feisty women. Now, before you shut off the video, give me at least a chance to explain myself. You see, I wanted to analyze Toradora, and Toradora is what I would describe as a wholesome anime. It is partially a rom-com, so a romantic comedy, but it pertains to that genre that I really love, which is slice of life. So we have two protagonists, which are the exact opposite of one another, and they have that sort of opposites attract kind of vibe. Insert obligatory Paul Abdul musical reference right here. So, we have Ryuji, who is the male protagonist. He is a very tall and imposing guy, and the anime plays with that trope that although he looks really scary, almost like a gangster, he is actually a really nice guy. He cooks really well, he's very tidy, he's very clean. In other words, let's just say that in the weeaboo culture is what would be called a perfect husbando. And yes, I cringed while I wrote that joke and I cringed while I delivered it. So moving on. Then we have the female lead, which is Taiga. She is a small and minute girl. She punches like a goddamn truck, so she is extremely energetic and also very messy and disorganized. So she is short, she's feisty, she's fantastic. And by this point, I swear to God that it is just a minor coincidence that I like short and feisty women. Not lolitas, there is a big difference, like a jail time difference. And please don't quote me on all this last bit. Anyway, since I described it as a wholesome slice of life anime, I'm not going to stay here and describe the plot points and how everything eventually pans out. Let me dive instead right into the important part which I want to analyze. You see, Toradora explores growth and adolescence. It explores various issues involving family, involving friends, abandonment, frustration, personal issues that seem bigger than life because they are in fact your life. It explores love and being loved, uncontrollable tears of happiness, as well as tears of sorrow. And finally, it explores the theme of maturing as a human being. So in the very first episode, there is this fantastic scene where Taiga, out of frustration, starts kicking a lamppost, and Ryuji, to show her that he is there beside her, to support her, starts doing the same thing. They yell together, "I'm not okay." It is a wholesome moment where the frustration of the two protagonists is emphasized in a way not just because they are living dynamics that we have all lived one way or another through our youth, but because they do not even know how exactly to approach the problem. It is they are the years of a teenager. Further on, when things get even worse, there is this superb moment where Taiga says exactly this: "I don't expect anyone to ever understand how I feel. Not really. After all, I don't even understand myself." So this is a pretty good characterization of a teen, of an adolescent, and what it means to pass through that phase of puberty, that phase where nothing makes sense. But, in my opinion, there is something much more at work here. You see, the more I thought about it, and the more I realized something. The one thing that the two protagonists want is to be appreciated for who they are, since, as I told you, they appear the opposite of what they actually are. This plays obviously on that exterior aspect that does not match the interior personality, right? But after all, isn't being appreciated for who we really are something that every one of us really want? So Toradora manages not only to depict the teen years, it depicts life itself. You see, at a certain point on the internet, there was this wonderful meme where a guy said something along the lines of, they were searching for an adult, so I realized that I was the adult, so I started looking for someone who is better at adulting than myself. And that is exactly what we see here, in my opinion. Adolescence, as well as adulthood, do not come with a manual. Most of us just pretty much wing it throughout life. Some might have a better grasp on what they want and what they are supposed to do. Some may fake it, some may succeed, some may not. But that's the beauty of life itself. Today, more so than ever, in our historical context that seems to lack any point of equilibrium, when everything is precarious and uncertain, Toradora reminds us that through trial and error, we eventually manage. It might seem like a meager consolation to think that just because at some point we manage to grow up and become adults, we will somehow manage to mature and become something even more, or become better. But that is what I got for you today. I find this idea, in a way, really soothing. And if you want to look back towards youth through a somewhat wholesome and somewhat melancholic stare, then go and watch Toradora. At least the hilarious moments will put a smile on your face. Anyway, don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to smile. Until next time.